All diaries are sufficient for consumption. More precisely, all diaries exist in order to be consumed. Fine, then, let them be eaten. Perhaps by feeding the goat my diary I am breaking him inches to think, me, a mere girl, not even 10 years old, trying to tame this gigantic goat. How incongruous. Can you envision it? Do you think it's implausible or imprudent or something? It's actually neither implausible nor imprudent, and I can corroborate this claim. You see, I possess the memory genes and hereditary powers of Mezu number 9. Hence my memories are her memories. I can reach into her chest at any moment and say laughingly, "It's only supernormal powers, silly." Hup, 2, 3, 4. Notebooks. Any used notebook is sufficient for disposing defiled beings. Let me rephrase this slightly. Any used notebook is sufficient for disposing any sentient being, including the goats ruled by the Mezu, for soon there will be neither purity nor defilement. This statement transcends paraphrasing. I don't mind. I have already broken in the goat, you see. He bleats as he takes the diary in his mouth. He masticates the diary. He seems to recognize me as his former master. You know who I am, don't you? You've known all along, from the moment we were reunited. Can you recognize metempsychosis, the transmigration of souls? But you need not understand this on a spiritual level. Intellectual cognition may also be possible. Besides, we have already confiscated the mansion. This is now my reading room. The writing desk too belongs to me. You know how it is. In short, this is how it is. The diaries you are chewing on are the diaries I am now supplementing. It's just that for each diary your stomach decomposes, you race further toward the resurrection. With each notebook, that your stomach breaks down. Wait, resurrection, isn't this a garbled metaphor? I don't even know. All I can say is that with each notebook your stomach digests. You roundly embody another aspect of the world. I could probably replace roundly embody with master a posteriori. Make flesh and blood might work too. For this is why I write, why I wrote then, why I'm writing now with this little hand. That is not even 10 with these little fingers, and a big pen, yet there was something not to my liking. Calendars. Notations of days, months, years. Keeping track of what day of what month, of what year it was in Helera. What nonsense is this? So I cut things off on the 7th day of hell. I ripped out the pages for that day, refusing to hand them over to the goat. Say I have something important to say. There are pages in this whole diary. There is a first page and a last page. The diary has an ending. It most definitely has an ending. In light of this fact, say, utter, or rather declare, any diary that chronicles these days in hell will perforce come to an end. Take note of this. It's an omen. I am pushing on. I'm lunging ahead, ploddingly. One should not do what is not to one's liking, and so I am amending the calendar. So long Sijan calendar, hello Gregorian calendar. I was unable to write an entry for the 8th day of hell. For that day I wrote a different date, someday in July of 2000. On this particular day I had begun preparing for the countdown to the end of the 20th century, when suddenly a thought occurred to me. On what date did the 20th century begin? January the 1st, 1901. Okay. Then on what date did the 20th century come to an end? December the 31st, 2000. So the 20th century is over, right? Wrong. July 28. I slipped the gold ring through the cell phone strap. That was yesterday. Gold ring that had been the rooster's anklet. I once protected this anklet. Now this anklet protects my cell phone. A license for survival. A pledge. July 29. Suddenly the machines catch fire. We alter our strategy. I am the leader, the one issuing directions. I'm Lieutenant Little Girl. July 30. Write something, damn it. July 31. The goat is grazing peacefully. Wait, aren't goats supposed to be ruminant animals? I spoke unto the goat. You shall race to the resurrection. I reiterated this with great obduracy. For repetition is incantatory, you see, like magic or a curse. The repetition of words, spoken or written. Come on, damn it. Write, say, I write. Behold my stick-to-itiveness. The resolution of the picture continues to improve apace. Any moment now we will start intercepting communications. Any moment now we will ready the machines for interceptions. Appurtenances of Meso number 9. The machines will not be incinerated. August 1. I set up communications. We begin intercepting. At hell hour 16 o'clock we bug the brothers meeting about the bugging of the mother's lines. We have no hankering for the latest developments from Russia. Did someone say Russia? At hell hour 19:30 we succeed in sending out a dispatch. We establish a hotline with the sanctuary. But the hotline was only an audio circuit. The picture was missing. It was inadequate. August 2. The picture betrays resentments. It should be coming in clear any minute now. At hell hour 8:20 a panoramic vista opens up. There is a lake, really, a lake. The government helicopter plummets. Was it shot down? A straight chopper, out of formation. Emergency landing at 10 o'clock, confirmed. The passengers are alive. I refer to them as the chopper men. The reason seems obvious. Old acquaintances. The relationship between the sanctuary and the government is touch and go. May we partake in the government? I start to fret. At hell hour 15 o'clock I refer to them once again as the chopper men. See, I'm not fretting. We proceed with a more detailed inspection of the picture. An accident is underway in the brother zone. Brother's_ZONE. While listening in on the mother's circuit we managed to wiretap the Gozu's statements pertaining to the accident. I can clearly see now that the chopper men, that's right, chopper men, are projecting the faces of the Orthodox European bovine-descended Gozu onto their spherical four-face helmets. This means that the chopper men simply project their bovine faces onto the Gozu's black spherical helmets that have been furnished with a light-proof function. I felt this to be a truly astonishing scene, and so we all were astonished en masse. Then, in threatening tones, the Gozu addressed the chopper men. Hell has its own system of addresses. There's a Hell First Street, for instance. This here is Hell First Street, revealed in the shape of an enlarged pool of blood. After calculating the precise location of the brother zone, we hurried together toward it. A pool of blood. The phrase does not begin to convey the full reality. We engaged the enemy. We understood. We secured several provisional prisoners of war, and were thus able to obtain information. This is definitely not a pool. It is a lake. And this lake has a name. The lake has already been topographically designated. Lake Beethoven, they call it. Its dimensions are approximately that of Tokyo's Starward. Never have I seen a lake so full of blood, nor has any of us, nor anyone in all of Japan's history. The lake was full of an inordinate amount of human blood. A lake this. Such a lake full of. I was at a loss for words. Although at a loss for words, I managed to engage enemy troops. I, Lieutenant Little Girl, continued issuing orders and assigning missions. And all this of course had nothing to do with that doubly misunderstood slogan, "We will destroy once and for all." And in this lake of blood dogs are swimming. Hell's watchdogs are. The hound dogs are. The whole lot of them can swim, you see. Even the white dogs are now red with blood. The Gozu came by boat. Boat of roaring fire. And then a raft. We seized the raft. 1 raft. 3 rafts. 4 rafts. Dead children afloat in water I too much cannot rubic. 2-year-olds. 5-year-olds. 1-year-olds. I wept. How come they dead? How come they dead? are afloat in the water, in this water brimming with the blood of men, women, and children. And then I heard, from the depths of the water, music. A capsule could be seen. A large capsule. You rescued the chopper men. Actually, it was you and your men who together saved them. For you, Lieutenant Little Girl, Lady Commandant, were rich in manpower, thronged as you were by your subordinates. And it was not only life-saving missions that you embarked upon. You also made sure to attend to the flying machine that had made an emergency landing. The hovercraft capable of flying at low altitude. Machine not yet customized for use in hell. Straight chopper. You checked its various meters and gauges. You ordered the chopper men to check these measuring instruments, to make adjustments to them, to confirm the number of engine revolutions. As they performed these tasks, you served as a living bulwark, wielding your supernormal powers that converted the flames into friendly fire. The flames were a psychological blaze, you had once explained. Then, sometime on August the 2nd, you completed the first step of redeployment. As you returned to your mansion, the giant goat was hung from the chopper by rope. The night-long operation of peeling the roof from the ban was completed, and the huge beast, still alive, hung dangling in the firmament. August 3. Gazing upward at the 7-meter goat hovering at an approximate height of 10 meters, you addressed him. Hey there, buddy. How you feeling? They're going to take you away now. Transport you out of here. Out of this hell. And into the metropole. Into the city center that has yet to be cast into this hellfire. Into our sanctuary. You continue. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to keep you as pet in the schoolyard. In that old elementary schoolyard that Tokyo Tower overlooks. And if you'd like, we can build in this schoolyard our own private hut, just for you. The second stage of redeployment was now complete. The voyage took us as far as the schoolyard. The goat was still dangling, albeit at a lower height, from the chopper in the azure sky. Some of us were above the Earth's surface, some were below, but all were with safety. We had made it. This all took place on August the 3rd, and was recorded in your diary. The process unfolded in 3 phases. First, you ordered your men, those you refer to as we, to build a hut just for the goat. Second, you entered negotiations with the rescued chopper men, thus effectively initiating negotiations with the government, and ordered the giant customized headphone for the goat. One of Japan's most illustrious light electronic appliance manufacturers pledged to cooperate, and so the headphone that arrived bore the Sony logo. A Walkman, in other words, you stated proudly. And third, you remembered to request radio frequency tuning function for the Walkman. You also requested that they make it so that tuning could be done via brain waves, and that all mini FM stations established, albeit rather precariously, throughout the sanctuary, could tune inches, and because Japan was number 1, the request went through, and progress was made well-nigh spontaneously. Japan as number 1, the brain waves were those of the goat. First day of tuning, August 4. Second day of tuning, August 5. Third day of tuning, August. August. I cannot write down this date. Our plan was eventually to elicit the sounds directly from the goat. No doubt they would have been the sounds of rock and roll, but such hypothetical musings are now unnecessary. We listened to the rock and roll through the goat Sony headphone through the line of his custom-made Walkman. It was Chuck Berry's 1956 tune Roll Over Beethoven, which the Beatles would cover 8 years later. That sounds about right, we were thinking. I was thinking. You see, Beethoven Lake had been rolled over, turned in upon itself. Or rather, we had desired that it be turned in upon itself. The sorrow and the sin, we thought the power of rock and roll might serve as a check against these. We said we would try to atone. We made a wish. We arranged to send the song from the goat's Walkman directly into an amplifier, and then blast it throughout the sanctuary. Blast it as far down as hell, all the way to the pits of purgatory. But just then there was an explosion. I can see it clearly. Might this be a new type of bomb? I make a phone call. Hastily I take out my silver grey metallic cell phone, dial, and say, "You who must now be not a day over 77. Just then the gold ring dangling from the strap is swaying, and I, irradiated, perish." This audio was brought to you by Yakatomi, voice of the web. YAKITOME.com